On today's video, we're going to talk about apex in a corner, where we're going to turn and when we're going to do it. More on that when we come back. Hey, on today's video, we're going to talk about apexing a corner. But before we get started, subscribe, like, share our videos, help us grow our channel. We're trying to hit that 4,000 mark before we go to Boone. Okay, so help us do that. We're a couple months from that, so help us grow. Apex in a corner. Okay, we have three sectors. Okay, on this chart, you see where our sector 1, sector 2, and sector 3 is. Okay, so we have three sectors, and we can have early and late sector. So, like early sector 1, late sector. So, we're going to talk about turning the car in these three sectors. First, we really need to identify where we turn the car. So I see a lot of guys that come down off the banking, but they don't really turn the car until late. Okay, so understanding where we're turning the car at first before we just go, oh, I'm in sector 1. Okay, but let's start with sector 1. If you're going to turn a car in sector 1, you're going to do it more like we talked about in the drive momentum, where the first thing you're going to see is you're going to release the brake, turn the car, put the car back on the bars, and carry the car through the corner. That would be turning in sector 1. That doesn't happen very well or very often. We had a discussion just the last week at the racetrack. A guy does it early, turns in early, but he does it very low on the racetrack, and I think that's hurting him a little bit. And he could get up the racetrack a little more and continue to do what he's doing, because he just makes it's just too sharp. And then the car has to be turned too hard. And in that process, it sets it on the right rear a little bit. So if I can find the video, I'll add this video to this of a guy turning high in the corner, coming down on the corner in sector 1. And it would look like this. Turning the car in sector 1 can be tough because it can require the car to be turned multiple times. Okay, but if you're going to turn the car in sector 1, you're going to have to get it turned, get it on the bars. So there's going to be maybe a early entry apex, early sector apex, and a late. If you're late, you probably need to turn down the hill. If you're early, you need to carry through the corner. Okay. Sector 2. A lot of times people are turning that maybe use drive as their way around the racetrack. This is how they're going to drive the car. They're going to do it under acceleration. The car generally starts to turn in the middle, sector 2, but at the first of sector 2. And they may get the car rotated through the center. Okay. If we was on a tight track and we were going to diamond it, or we were just going to diamond the corner some, then we would turn in the middle of sector 2. So we'd apex center, we'd drive it in, rotate very tightly, and drive it off. And it truly gets the effect of a diamond, because we may drift out to the flag stand and then back down and drive it up the racetrack to the center, turn it, and come off. Okay, sector 3. If you're driving a car with acceleration, there's a 90% chance that you're turning in sector 3, even though that's not really where you identify your turn as. That's really where you're second or you're double turning the car. So we have several examples of people that will turn the car in sector 1, late sector 1, and carry the car straight across the corner very fastly. Well, very fast. Had a guy win a national championship doing this. Oh, we've actually had 3 national championships won this way. I don't recommend it, but it does work well, especially on a local level, because generally you're carrying more speed than anybody. We consulted with a guy for a couple of years, an older driver that had driven for many years. It's at the end of his career, still very fast. And he was going to drive more, but his son ended up just taking off. So they focused on his son's career. But he was as fast as anybody I've ever seen to the center of the corner. Very fast. But his center of the corner off. So he would get the car in and get a turn and carry speed across the corner. But then when he got to exit, he'd just let it float all the way to the top until he found something he could get a hold of. So he was turning sector 3. And he won some races doing this, but he could have dominated if he could have got his car to rotate through the center sector or early sector 3. So letting the car drift up when we race at Lakeside, Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, we often square the corner off and carry to the cushion. And it's just been a way of racing there for many, many years. But it's and it can be fast if you're willing to drive through a push or a little bit of tightness through the center. So guys have been very successful at that. But I warn you, because as the track slicks off, you've got to do something with the car. When you get over there, you got to do something with the car. And generally, it's not the fastest way around the racetrack. Now, you may be the fastest one there because nobody else is any better. But when somebody figures out how to rotate the car through the corner or carry speed on exit, then they'll become faster generally. I had a guy that ran UMP, and I teased him a little bit because he raced on a part of the track no one else did. And it even looked different. I'm like, you're in the infield. And it was just so far down on the racetrack, and his car would rotate center off so well that he's going forward while they're still trying to push to the wall. And he just beat a lot of people doing it, and so it was a very good style. But turning late sector or turning sector, early sector 3, apexing in sector 3 is probably not the greatest thing. I can't see where I just can't see where that's going to be the best. I will say it's probably being done 60% of the time on the racetrack. And as you study it more, really study it more, you'll see it more. So at first glance, I don't think you'll recognize a Sector 3 apex, because I go to the track a lot, and when I'm there, I talk to people, have people that are with me, watch with me, stand with me, and they don't see it. They don't see it. So late turn sector 3 is, like I said, if I happen 60% of the time. Sometimes it just has to happen. Traffic, whatever, car gets out of shape, hit a slick spot, whatever the case be, it just happens. But we don't want it to happen. And it's become a driving style for a lot of people. One of our guys that's won many, many races, when we get into serious competition like USMTS, it's hard to be successful with that drive across the center, turn in sector 3 thing, because there are guys that will be better. And the problem with it is you got a bunch of good guys, and it may just be, everything may be aligned that night for that guy. It may be his track, maybe his night, things in his head might be right. So he shines. So it's just harder to do that. We need to create a early apex and carry it through the corner. So once the car is turned, the car needs to stay turned. So 3 sectors, 3 apexes. I believe apex in sector 1 is the fastest way around the racetrack. I believe too that turning in the center. And apexing in sector 2 is probably most popular way around the racetrack. And there's people that apex sector 2 and sector 3, or sector 1 and sector 3. So there's double turning, and I have seen that being successful because they're extremely fast across the center. The car must turn, must rotate. Um, in a lot of these cases, people are wanting drive versus momentum. Drive is much more popular. We have a very successful BMOD guy that races at our local track, and we're friends, but I'm not really working with him. But I've noticed, there's several things that he does very, very well. And he rotates well, he rotates early, and he never talks about drive. So, and he is a lot of times the car to beat. And I help people that are very good also, but they want a little more right rear or side bite. If you followed me long, that I'm not a big fan of that side bite thing. I'd rather have load on the tire. Rather have a free roll steer and carry the car with speed. Side bite just means you're going to slow the car down on the right rear. That's all that means. You're going to pitch it in. It's going to lug the tire, and it's going to give you a little confidence. You're going to stand on the gas, and you're going to control the tail out of the car with the side bite. Okay, just put load in it. Carry the car with load. Put a little rebound in it. That'll keep the car from losing all of its load and becoming free on exit. I'm also not a big fan of. We're going to race on the bars. Absolutely, we're going to race on the bars. But I don't think we're going to see who's first one there. We're going to carry some load. We're going to get some weight transfer, and we're going to carry it through the corner. And we're going to turn a car with rebound. So if you are constantly looking for drive and you're winning a lot of races, watch out for that guy that starts working on momentum because he's watching these videos, because he is going to get fast. And then it's going to be hard to beat him. So if you choose drive, if you choose to turn sector 2, sector 3, understand that you're doing these things. And then understand what it takes to make that work the best. Because you may not be able to change your habits, your driving style, but you need to be aware of it. And you need to be aware of what the car is doing because of the way you're driving it. And you need to understand how to make that situation absolutely the best it can be. Okay, this should win you some races. Driving and changing your driving style is on dirt is extremely hard because of the lack of practice. And as we talked in the last video, mental practice is just as good as physical practice. And in a lot of cases, I've been at tests or test sessions where they're just horrible. They're horribly run. There's no physical purpose for being there. We're just turning laps. We're not improving on anything. We're not doing anything. We're trying to dial in a car, and that's not practice. That's not a test and tune. If your car is already crap, then go dial it in, and then go have some practice. Go have some test sessions. But if your car is not dialed in, and you're going to go test something, don't even bother. Get it dialed in, then go test it, then go practice. Hot laps, practice on your driving, practice on your entry, start building muscle memory. If you turn a good lap, you need to know it in the car when you do it. You need to know, hey, that was a good corner. And you need to go back to the video and watch that and understand why was that corner good? What did I do different to make that corner better? Where did I turn the car? Watch your videos. Watch where you turn the car. If you can't, how do they say that? Bless her little pea-picking heart. If your wife can't video, find somebody that can. If she's emotionally drawn, find somebody that can focus on the car. Get them in a spot where the car can be seen. Get them in a spot where you're having problems. So the video is quality, not videoing through a fence. I get videos, I can't even tell what car number they are almost can't tell what color they are because the video is so poor and they want me to analyze the video. Don't work. Gotta have good quality video, analyze your videos, see when you're turning, see when you're apexing, see if you're drifting, if you're pushing, if you're tight, watch your tires, do all that. It's very, 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 very helpful. And at the level we're on, these are the things that are going to make you better. So pick your driving style, pick where you want to turn the car, or understand how you're driving it and understand where you're turning the car. So these are the secrets that you need to learn to become a better driver. As always, go fast, go left. God bless you, and we'll see you the next time.